Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Samih Ismail, and today we're going to talk about the consonants, the letters of the Arabic alphabet. The first letter of the Arabic alphabet is حرف الألف. حرف الألف. Remember that all 28 letters in the alphabet are consonants, and this is not exactly true for the alif because we already talked about a specific sound that the alif, waw, and ya have, and because they share the same sound with the vowels, which is used for stretching the vowel from a long to from a short to a long vowel. Now notice that the alif cannot connect to the letter after it. There will be a small gap between the alif and the next letter. Aleph is one of 6 letters that cannot connect to the following letter. The other 5 will be discussed later. And here we can see the 4 forms of Aleph when it's by itself, at the beginning of the word, in the middle of the word, and at the end of the word. Letter is the first letter of the word Arnab, which is a rabbit. And that's what we see in the background. The next letters of the Arabic alphabet are ba, ba, ta, ta, and tha, tha. Now we're grouping these letters together because the basic shape of the letters is exactly the same. The only difference is the number of dots and the location of the dots. Ba corresponds to the letter B in English. It has the exact same sound. B, b. Ta corresponds to the letter T in English, but it's a little softer. Tha corresponds to the combination of TH in English as in thank, thank. When you say thank you for someone, it has the exact same sound as the TH as in thank. The 4 forms of these letters are the same. The only difference is the number of the position of the dots. Ba as in batta. Batta is duck in English. It has 1 dot underneath it. Ta as in timsah, and timsah in English is the alligator, and it has 2 connected dots on the top of it. And tha as in tha'lab, which means fox in English, has 3 dots above it. The next letters are jim, jim, ha, ha, and kha, kha. Jim corresponds to the letter J in English. J. Ha corresponds to the English letter H, but it's more throaty, it's more down the throat. And Kha corresponds to the combination of K, H, K, H. And writing, Jim, Ha, and Kha each have the exact same body shape, as you can see, but the only difference is where the dot location is. Jim has a dot inside it in the middle, Ha doesn't have any dots, and Kha has 1 dot on the top. Jim, as in Jamal, in English means camel. Ha, as in Himar, in English means donkey. And Kha, as in Haruf, Haruf, which is in English sheep. The next letters of the Arabic alphabet are Dal, Dal, as in deek, which is in English a rooster, and dhal, dhal, which is, for example, as in dhi'b, dhi'b, which is in English wolf. Now, dal sounds like the letter D in English, but a little softer. And dhal sounds like the combination of TH as in the word that, that, or the article the. It has the exact same sound. This is how these two letters look in all the four forms. And I want you to notice that the dal and the dal do not connect to the following letter. The dal and dal, they don't connect to the following letter. The only difference in writing is the dot, which goes above the dal to make it a dal. So dal has a dot on the top. The next letters of the Arabic alphabet are ra, ra, and zay, zay. The name of zay differs from country to another. Sometimes it is zay, and sometimes you're going to hear zen, but it doesn't matter. Now, ra sounds somewhat like the R in English, and zay sounds somewhat like the Z in English. And they're really close to one another. So even if you pronounce it as a normal ra, as a normal ra in English, and as a normal zay in English, it is exactly the same, and it's just fine. Now the name of the letter zay in Arabic is sometimes pronounced zay and zain, as we discussed. So in both situations, it is the exact same letter. Ra and zay have the same body shape, and zay has a dot on the top of it, has a dot above it. And notice that ra and zay do not connect to the following letter. Ra as in raccoon, which is in English a raccoon, and zay as in zanjabil, which is in English ginger, ginger. The next letters of the Arabic alphabet are sin, seen, and sheen, sheen. Seen is the equivalent to the letter S. Sheen is equivalent to the combination of S and H, as in she, she. Now, seen and sheen look very similar to one another, and seen has no dots, and sheen has 3 dots on top. Seen as in salla, which means a basket. Sheen as in shams, which means the sun. The next letters of the Arabic alphabet are Sad and Dad. Sad and Dad. Sad sounds like the letter S, but it has a whistle sound to it. A whistle sound to it. So when you say the word whistle, I am whistling, it's a whistle, it is the exact same sound. You're getting really close to it. So sad, as if you're saying the S in the word whistle, whistle. Sad as in saqr, saqr, which means a falcon. Now, bod sounds really close to the letter D in English, but much, much thicker and a deeper sounding. Sad and bod They both share the same basic shape, except that Sod has no dots on it and Bod has one dot on top. Bod as in ضفدع. ضفدع. ضفدع is the frog. The next letters of the Arabic alphabet are Ta, Ta, and Dha. Dha. Ta sounds like T in English, but it's much, much thicker sounding. And Dha, it is really close to the TH combination in English, as in that, but it has a much, much thicker and a deeper sound. Now, they both look similar to one another, except that Ta has no dots and Dha has one dot on top. Ta as in طائرة, طائرة, an airplane. And Dha as in ظرف, ظرف, which is an envelope. The next letters of the Arabic alphabet are Ain, Ain, and Ghain, Ghain. Ain doesn't have an English equivalent. It is a back throat sound. It is a back throat sound. Ain, Ain. As in Alam, which means a flag. Ghain sounds like the combination of GH in English and like the noise when you gargle. When you're gargling, it has almost the exact same location. It comes from the exact same location in your throat. Ghain, as in ghaima, which means a cloud. They both have the same basic shape. The only difference is that Ain doesn't have a dot and Ghain has one dot on top. The next letters of the Arabic alphabet are Fa, Fa, Qaf, Qaf, and Kaf, Kaf. Fa is the equivalent to the letter F in English. Qaf is represented by the letter Q, and it sounds like a K, except it's more throaty. So it is actually closer to the pronunciation of the letter Q. Kaf is the equivalent to the English letter K. And this is what these three letters look like in their four shapes. Now, Fa as in fil, which means elephant. Qaf as in qamar, which means the moon. And Kaf as in kura, which means a ball. The next letters of the Arabic alphabet are Lam, Mim, and Nun. Those are pretty straightforward. Lam is the equivalent of the letter L in English. Mim is the equivalent of the letter M in English. And Nun is the equivalent of the letter N in English. Lam as in laymoon, which means lemon. Mim as in manga, which means a mango in English. And Noon as in nar, which means a fire. The next letter of the Arabic alphabet are Waw, Ha, and Ya. Waw is the equivalent of the English letter W. Ha is the equivalent of the English letter H, not to be confused with the ha sound that we introduced earlier. That one is a little throaty and a deeper. This one is the exact matches with the letter H. And ya is the equivalent of the English letter Y. they have the same sound. And this is what they look like in all the four forms. Waw as in warda, which means a rose. Ha as in hadiya, which means a gift. And ya, which means as in yad, which means a hand. In the Arabic alphabet, there is an additional letter that is most of the time used in a combination with other letters, either with the waw on top of it or with an alif on the top or below it. Now, it depends on the word and the ending of the word. Sometimes the alif itself, as we're going to see in a second, has a different shape that looks like a ya, but it doesn't have the two dots underneath it. That actually is an alif. It is called al-alif al-maqsura. And that alif is shaped like a ya because it is at the end of the word in specific words, of course, and it has its own rules that we're going to learn that in an advanced course later on. Al-hamza is the last letter of the Arabic alphabet, and it's a bit complicated to write. This is how it looks like when it's written by itself and on top of the waw, on top of the ya, or on top of below an alif. Sometimes the ha is written with two dots on top. This is actually a ta. This can happen only at the end of the word. For example, tufaha, which means an apple, and as you can see, it is color coded in red. You will sometimes see ya without its dots. This is, as we agreed before, is an alif, and this can happen only at the end of the word. For example, the word marma, which means a goal. Now here we have the Arabic alphabet, their names, and the transliteration that is going to be used, and an approximate pronunciation for all of them. Alif, as in mad. Ba, as in boy. Ta, as in tip. Tha, as in three. Jim, as in jump. Ha, as in high, but heavily aspirated with a little bit of a friction at the back of your throat. Kha, as in the Scottish word loch, but more raspy. Dal, as in dog. Zal, as in this. Ra, as in red. Zay, as in zoo. Seen, as in same. Sheen, as in ship. Sod, as in sock, but a little heavier. So you can use also the word vessel as a closer example. Bod, as in dog, but heavier. Va, as in this, but heavier. Ain, it's a guttural sound that is made by constricting the air in the throat. Ain. Ghain, as in the French word raison, it has like a gargle sound. Fa, as in fame. Qaf, as in cough, but unaspirated. Kaf, as in came. Lam, as in line. Mim, as in made. Noon, as in no. Ha, as in high. Wow, as in when. And ya, as in yes. Until our next video, take care, and I'll see you soon.